buttermilk crispy chicken? Let's find out.
It's probably the best sandwich I've ever had.
It's super crispy, but it's also really juicy.
So would you guys come back?
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, here's our car. The location is on the back. It's McDonald's? What? What?
Oh, get out
No way.
Wait, seriously?
Try some buttermilk crispy chicken. It's right around the corner at McDonald's. Buttermilk.
Welcome back to Ask the Coach. Joe Myers and Jeff Garman discussing last night's 32-28 loss to the Monroe County Falcons, which puts Glasgow at 4-4 overall on the year, 1-1 in the district, with a final district game of the season coming back at home on Friday night against the Metcalfe County Hornets. Let's take a look at the final stats from the game last night. Team-wise, the Scotties wind up with 12 first downs to Monroe County's 15. Glasgow had 97 yards rushing, 171 yards passing for a total of 268. Monroe with 191 yards rushing, 155 through the air for a total of 346. Monroe County turned the football over 3 times. Scotties did not commit a turnover. The Scotties were penalized 6 times for 63 yards. Monroe County 6 for 40. That's another thing we haven't touched on, Jeff. It seemed like the penalties, not that many penalties with 6 for 63, but it seemed like they came at really bad times.
Well, I thought so too, and I'm sure those, the referees, I thought it was a pretty good called ball game. They didn't call a whole lot up inside and kind of let the game play itself out, but there was a couple of costly penalties and some open areas that it kind of pinned us back a little bit, but it's easy. I get critiqued enough coaching. I'm sure not going to start critiquing the referees too. So they have a tough job, it's harder than it looks, I'm sure.
Scotties had 61 offensive plays and had the ball 23 minutes and 39 seconds. Time of possession nearly even. Monroe County had 52 plays and had the ball 24 minutes and 21 seconds. Individually, for the Scotties last night, they're led in rushing by Kyle Nixon with 14 carries for 82 yards. Silverio Greer carried it 3 times for 12 yards. Jasper Mundy had 7 carries for 11 yards and a touchdown. Desi Austin had 12 carries, wound up with negative rushing yards because of the sacks, but he did have a touchdown on the night. Desi through the air was 14 of 25 for 171 yards and 1 touchdown. Leading receiver was Ben Hughes with 5 catches, 69 yards. Griffin Murphy caught 5 passes for 43 yards. Karam Kimball caught 1 for 49. Gavin Bird had 1 catch for 6. Kyle Nixon had a catch for 3 yards. Silverio Greer caught 1 for 1 yard, and that was a touchdown. Jasper Mundy punted 6 times for a total of 207 yards, an average of 34, and a long of 47. Monroe County led in rushing by Time Inc. with 25 carries, 127 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jordan Phillips carried it 4 times for 60 yards. Tucker England had 7 carries for 20 yards. Lincoln Arnett, 11 carries, minus 16. Braxton Walker had 1 for minus 2. Arnett through the air was 6 of 11 for 142 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Time Inc. threw it 3 times, completed 2 of those for 13 yards and a touchdown. Leading receiver was Kel Rich for 4 catches, 109 yards and a touchdown. Tucker England caught 3 passes for 45 yards, and Gage Nelson caught the 1 pass for 1 yard, which was a touchdown. Brian White punted 3 times for an average of 26 and a long of 31 for the Falcons. Defensively for Glasgow, they were led in tackles last night by Jasper Mundy and Henry Harris, who each finished with 9 tackles on the night. Karam Kimball not far behind with 8 stops. You had Eric Bradshaw with 2. Gavin Bird had 2 tackles and the sack for the safety. Ben Hughes had 5 tackles on the night. Evan Riddle had 2 and an interception. Karam Kimball, as we've already told you, had 8 tackles. Silverio Greer had 3 on the night. Josiah Moore had a big night. He was our Farm Bureau Insurance Player of the Game. He had 5 tackles, interception return for a touchdown, and a fumble recovery as well. Draven Pope had 7 tackles and a sack on the night, and Stephen Franklin had 5 tackles and a sack. So the Scotties now 1-1 in the district, 4-4 overall, and they'll go up against Metcalfe County at home at Hank Roy Stadium on Friday night. As you said, Jeff, it's a big game because you need to win that one to ensure yourself of at least one home playoff game. And hey, depending on what happens between Monroe County and Greene County, who knows? If Greene was able to upset Monroe, it'd be a 3-way tie for first place. You still could get 2 home games, but you got to beat Metcalfe County to at least ensure yourself of one.
Yeah, it'll be a big ball game, and it'll should be a good crowd. We got homecoming that night, and it's another opportunity to play in front of our home crowd. And I think our home crowd got the money's worth tonight. And if there's we don't play for any moral victories around here. We're about trying to win ball games and win districts and things like that. We just aren't ready yet to take that next step and play, in all phases of the game, a game that it takes to beat a caliber team like Monroe County.
And I know you don't look for any excuses whatsoever, but it has to be stated Monroe County is a team that has 19 seniors. You got one, basically, and you guys played them right down to the very end.
Well, that's all fact. And again, I just want to reiterate to everybody just how proud I am of our kids. They play with a lot of heart and a lot of passion, and they come out there every Friday night and put it on the line. And as supporters of our school and supporters of our football team, that has to make you proud.
And then one more thing before we let you go, Jeff. We did have the 1965 team here tonight. You alluded to it a moment ago, or last night, I should say. They were there at Hank Roy Stadium, and really nice to see a bunch of those guys showed up. It shows you, again, what Scotty football and what the tradition of this program means to the guys who played 50 years ago. They were the first team to play on this field. Yeah,
and football was played here at Glasgow a long time before me, and it's going to be played a long time after I'm done coaching too. This is a tradition-rich football program that's not only known in this area, it's known all over the state, and we're extremely proud of it. And tonight you saw the response of how many players that played in the 1965-66 season. How many of them just came back tonight to see that and to see Coach Gilbert out there on the field and Coach Pettit and Coach Gilbert's always a good guy to see and be around and been so nice to me and so supportive of me and every time he sees me and it means a lot. It means a lot of trying to carry on a tradition here that coaches like that and Coach Meadows, Coach Eubanks, Coach Lindsay, Coach Wood that has brought before us, and I throw in there Coach Gupton. He coached when I was young, growing up, watching them play, and it makes me seeing stuff like that makes me sit back and think about just how fortunate I am, and I just love what I do, and I love what I do here, and I'm just very, very lucky.
I want to give thanks to Athletic Director Craig Cassidy for helping to put all that together. I know he had some other people helping him too, Jim.
Oh, Coach Cassidy does an outstanding job, and we're fortunate to have him as our athletic director and as an assistant coach here. And him and Mr. Hale and Mr. Howard and Randy Wilkinson, our administrators. They're just so supportive of me and the football team, and it means a lot to me. And again, I can't say enough just how lucky I am to be in the position I am, to get to love to do what I want to do at my alma mater, the place that means the most to me. I'm truly blessed.
Jeff, we appreciate your time this morning. Good luck against the Hornets.
Thank you, Joe.
That's Scotty head coach Jeff Garman, and when we come back, Brad Atwell sits down with Barron County head coach Jeff Griffiths. We're back after this on WCLD Sports.